Hello, everyone. This is Lisa from Power Wheelchairs for Success, but I think you already knew that. So I am still Lisa, and this is still Power Wheelchairs for Success. This video today is for those who need a disabled tag. So we're going to talk all about that, and you might be a loved one also who is interested in a disabled tag and wants to know how it works or how it doesn't work. So we're going to talk about both sides. On how to apply and all those kind of things. So one of the things that's really important is to apply. The permanent disabled tags are free in the state of Wisconsin. I don't know about your state. So you really need to check that out to see what the regulations are, because I am going on the rules and regulations for the state of Wisconsin in the United States. And I'm going to adjust my camera just a tad here. Okay, there we go. Usually there's a form. So you need to find that form on the web for your state or your province or your country. So here for the state of Wisconsin, I'm going to be going through some of the statutes so you know what you can do and cannot do with your tag. But to start off, if you already have a tag or are getting a tag, I want to say that I have put it in a plastic cover, as you can see, very nice, so that it lasts longer and doesn't get wet and all those kinds of things. So it's kind of a protective case that I have it in. It just helps it last longer. One of the things that you need to remember is to hang it when you park. And to take it down when you're done, because you may not drive with the tag hanging from your rear view mirror. So you need to remember to hang it so that you are announcing, I have permission to park here, and take it down when you're going to start driving again, because you could be stopped by a cop if you have it hanging, because it can block your vision while driving. So I know sometimes we forget, but we got to work at that and make sure that we put it up when we park and bring it down when we're done. So we need to leave a post-it note for ourselves maybe sometimes to make sure we read it. The other thing is with tags, with disability tags, is they're highly coveted because a lot of people want to park where we can park, right? I understand that. I get that. But if you don't have a disability, I'm sorry. You need to park in the regular parking spots. I know you're in a rush, but sometimes it's better just to slow down. I ask that people respect the handicap parking spots because we really do need them. And I did another video on that and what the reasons were and why we needed those parking spots. So let's go into the details. Make sure that you put your tag in a safe place, okay? Because people, if they see it in your car, they might break in to take it. It's very unfortunate. So when you're putting it away, put it somewhere where it's not visible. That way, out of sight, out of mind. All right, so for the state of Wisconsin, I'm going to read the use of it, okay? So the basic use of the tags here in the state of Wisconsin, I'm going to read it really quick, and not all the details, just the first lines, and you'll understand the rest. May park in spaces marked by official traffic signs, reserving the space for vehicles displaying vet or disability plates or disability ID permit in all 50 states. So your tag will work in other states. But you just have to look up, some of the rules can be different, so you want to check them before you go to that particular state. Let's see here. May park at a municipally owned leased lot without payment in metered spaces when the time limit is 1/2 hour or more. Okay. Payment may be required to privately owned parking lots or those with an attendant. So if it's privately owned, you really need to get permission. May obtain fuel from a full service pump at the same price as the fuel from a self-service pump at locations with both types of service, if the driver is the person with the disability. So that's important. We don't want to be charged more for the service or the gas just because we have a disability. So if you're driving, you may drive up to a self-service, or you may drive up to a disability handicap spot where the attendant will come out and help you, but he can't charge you more for the gas. After the death of the owner, permit may be canceled by a phone call, email, or mailed in with a note of cancellation. I would think it would require some kind of letter. Permits may not be shared, including between the state of Wisconsin put down spouts, but we know it's spouses. Permits may be shared, including between spouses or domestic partners. So state of Wisconsin, check your notice here because it says spouts. So the joke is on us, I suppose. This is an important point about not being able to exchange tags or share your tag with others, because the tag, the disability tag, is tied to you, to your ID or to your driver's license. So if that person just happens to borrow your tag, or you lend them your tag and they break the rules, it'll come back to you. So that's really important for you to be guarded with your tag. Make sure you don't get it mixed up with your spouse's tag, because if an error is committed and a police has to step in to look at the situation, the tag incident will come back to you, to the owner. The tags are attached, again, to your ID or your driver's license. So you want to be protective of the tag at all times. So those are the basic rules of using your tag. But again, you have to put it up when you're parked, take it down when you're driving. So that's really a big rule, because you can get stopped. All right, there is one about, are you eligible? So let's look at the basic eligibility requirements. In your state, again, it might be a little different. So or your country. Cannot walk 200 feet or more without stopping to rest. Cannot walk without the use of or assistance from another person. Brace, cane, crutch, prosthetic device, wheelchair, or another assistant device. Is restricted by lung disease to the extent that force expiratory volume for 1 second when measured by spirometry is less than 1 liter of blah, blah, blah. So, so they'll have to test you for that. Uses portable oxygen, has a cardiac condition, is severely limited in the ability to walk due to the arthritic, neurological, or orthopedic condition. Vehicles that qualify. Any vehicle that is transporting an eligible person with a valid disability tag may display the disability ID permit. A person with a valid disability ID permit issued by any state may use the permit while visiting this state. So your tag from other states may be used in the state of Wisconsin. An organization that regularly transports persons who have a temporary or permanent disability that impairs the ability to walk may apply for a disability ID permit. Please contact the Special Plates Unit for information. So our organization, because we are assisted living, our administration has tags. They're not pink and they're not green, they're not blue and they're not red. They are green, because it has to do with drivers of the administration that are helping us get from point A to point B. So they have a special tag. Other considerations: persons with a temporary disability will receive a red disability ID permit that is valid for up to six months, and it costs $6. If you are a licensed driver, the DMV may review your disability to make sure you are able to exercise ordinary and reasonable control of the motor vehicle. So sometimes they will test you if you have a behavioral health issue, if you have a vision issue, cognitive. So tests may apply in terms of your disability. Let's see here. A person with a valid disability ID permit issued by another jurisdiction may use the permit while visiting this state. So that was in there twice, but that's okay. Uh, People from your tag will work in other states, and other states can come here to the state of Wisconsin with their tags and will be recognized and valid. So don't worry about that. However, the rules from state to state can vary. For instance, in the state of Washington, my family lives over there, so sometimes I go from time to time, and I bring my tag. And that helps my brother, park wherever we need to go or to stop for a rest. But in one of the parking spots, I realized that it was a handicap parking spot, but you can only park there for 15 to 30 minutes. So that was important to pay attention to. So they might have a specific rule in another state, so you need to kind of look up the rules and pay attention to the signs wherever you're parking, so you maintain or keep yourself in compliance while using your disability tag. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So let's move on. So every state has a form that you need to fill out, and a doctor will have to sign off on it. So this is not just like you fill it out and you send it in because you consider that you're disabled. No. Your doctor will have to sign a portion of that to state if you will benefit from a tag or not. Sometimes conditions are temporary, and the doctor really does want you walking. So you might have had a surgery on your lungs, but the doctor wants you to walk a little bit more so that you exercise those lungs and get them back to full function. So sometimes you might have had a heart condition and your heart is doing really well, but the doctor wants you walking. So he's not going to issue a tag if the point of all this is for you to exercise a little bit more. He might even say, I want you to park even farther. So you have to walk. So in some conditions, it's really important to walk. For people, if you have a permanent condition that's not going to improve and could get worse, then the doctor might see that it's necessary for you to use a tag, the blue tag. If you've had surgery and you need to take it easy, the doctor might help you fill out a form for the red tag. It's valid for 6 months, and they can extend it if needed. So you really need to consider it. Also, again, as I said in the beginning, keep your tags safe. They're coveted. And people sometimes, unfortunately, steal them because they really want to park in disabled parking spots. Why? I have no idea. But hi. So anyway, I do ask people who are not disabled to please respect those parking spots. We really need them, especially those of us who use walkers and wheelchairs, and we have assisted devices, and we need more time to get in and to get out, and we need more space to be able to open our doors widely and get our tools out. So you never know when a person with a disability is going to come by and really needs that parking spot, even though you're going in there just for a few seconds, which is never a few seconds. It always extends to a few minutes. So we ask you to be respectful. If you see that there's someone at your store or your agency that's parking there without permission, please don't get into it with the driver. Please go to the manager of the store or the agency or institution you're visiting and just saying, hey, I have questions about the driver who's parked in XYZ handicap spot. I don't see any tags. I don't see a license plate. And it really concerns me for other people who have disabilities and will need that handicap spot. Those handicap spots are regulated by the owners of the parking lot, by DOT, by the police. We do not have permission as people with disabilities to create our own rules. And what I mean by that is that if you have there's no handicap spots, you park in a regular spot, but you take out a cone or you take out other obstacle, that is not allowed. So I realize that sometimes we're a little desperate, but we cannot make up our own rules and use cones or obstacles for other people not to be able to park around us. So we need to be careful with that because we don't have permission to do that. We have permission to park in handicap spots or park at a regular spot if we can handle it. So I'm afraid that that's the reality because people can complain if you put down cones or other obstacles because they're trying to prevent another car from parking too close to you. So you will be ticketed for that. Anyone would be ticketed if they start using cones or obstacles unless you are the fire department or you are, an emergency vehicle, and which we are not. So just be aware of that. I understand the frustrations. If you see that in your store or the agency or the institution really needs more parking spots, please talk to the management, submit a letter so they can consider and request from the police department, permission to add more handicap spots. So per the handicap spots, the number goes according to the size, I think, of the parking lot and the amount of guests that they will be receiving. So it all has to do with numbers. And if they have to get some more handicap spots painted, they can do that, but they have to get permission, I think, to do that. So there's a certain license that goes with it. So just be patient, do contact management and write them a letter so they can follow up and see if they can add handicap spots at your store or at your agency that you go to. All right, so that is it for today. And if you have any other suggestions for people who are getting tags to be able to handle or to park in handicap spots, feel free to post down below. And if you have any questions, please post down below. We will do our best to answer.